Hi everybody, it's Yasmin Vorajee from yasminvorajee.com and the creator of Tiny Time Big Results. And welcome to this week's Google Hangout. And for the next 15-20 minutes, I'm just going to be sharing with you about how you can stop the rot in your business. And it's actually quite interesting. I've had one of those mind-bending conversations this morning already. It's only 11:30, but I've already had one of these mind-bending conversations, and it's quite interesting because I just want to be able to share with you kind of what I think around your creativity, and I know this is something that affects a lot of business owners and a lot of people, is when you have lots and lots and lots of different ideas in your business. And I know I'm exactly the same. Like, I'll be thinking, oh God, this is a great idea, and I do this, and I want to do this in my business, and I want to do this in my business, and I want to do this. And what I find is that when you have just this multitude of ideas, what happens very easily is that you get overwhelmed. You think, oh God, but I've got to work on this, and I haven't finished that yet, and I'm going to start on this, and hold on a minute, I need that, and okay, well, I'm going to start this now, and I'm going to start this, and what happens then, you end up with lots and lots of different projects, some started, some half done, some nearly completed, but you look around you and you start to feel overwhelmed because you're thinking, nothing's finished. I'm trying to do so many different things. And whilst it's brilliant that you have this level of creativity, in your business, and it's brilliant because so many people struggle and they think, oh, I can't think of anything. But when you have all of these amazing ideas, you're thinking, brilliant, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I could do this, and I could do this, and I could do this. And what I find is that we just think too much. It's really simple. I do believe this, and I know, and I say this because I live in my head, and it's an ongoing journey for me to come out of my head and to actually inhabit the rest of my body, and to not think as much. And if you're one of those people that is forever thinking, then I hear you. When it feels like your head is just going. And in this conversation that I just had, we were talking about how your thoughts are like the ticker tape that runs along the bottom of the TV. When you're watching the news, and I've thought about this before, where I've read books and they're talking about, your thoughts just happen, your thoughts just come through. They're just, I can't even think about. There was some statistic that I read about how many thousands of thoughts that you think every single day, every single minute. And we need to be thinking about our thoughts. See, did you hear my language just then? We need to be thinking. Let me try and rephrase that. So how about we look at our thoughts and just think they're just a ticker tape, just running across the screen. And why is it that we pick one of the thoughts and then just run with it? And it's like that, the rabbit hole where you just go, and if it's a negative thought, you just go down that rabbit hole so fast, and maybe it's just because it's a pattern that's continuing for you that you just go zoom. And so, give you an example. One of the things that since I became a mum, I'm perpetually terrified about things happening to my kids. As any parent would be able to identify, that when you have children, your heart is now walking outside of your body, and the thought of anything happening to them it's petrifying. It's just so scary. And there's a part of me that really reflects on this and think, God, that's what my parents think as well. Because, I'm here in Ireland, my sister lives in another country, my brother lives near them, thankfully, but they must find it really hard because, we're all scattered, and they're probably worrying every single day thinking, I hope my daughter's okay. And so I can really relate, because as a parent, I'm like now thinking, oh my God, but, my kids are very small, so they still live with us, and, and they will do for many years yet. But there's a part of me that worries. And what I think is, I'll pick that ticker tape and think, if I see something, a terrible accident, I think, oh my God, what if that happened to Fionn? What if that happened to Zaina? And I really, it just goes, it's like a vicious rabbit hole, because you just go deep into it and you're like thinking, oh my God, how would I cope? What would I do? And then I really just kind of start myself up and go, hold on a minute, where did that come from? You know, they're fine, they're sitting next to you, they're happy, they're healthy, and it could relate to anybody, your partner, your family, your, you know, whatever, whoever it might be for you. But you're thinking, where did that thought come from? And why did I necessarily just keep going on that train of thought? I could have just let it go by. I could have just let that ticker tape just go by. And when I think about creativity in business, and when I think about having a multitude of ideas, one of the things that really strikes me is you don't have to act on every single idea that you get, because when you do that, you're suddenly overwhelmed. You're writing all of these things down. So I've got a great idea for something that I want to do, but I know that it's not a priority right now. You know, when you've got tiny time, you really have to be clear about what you want to achieve in a space of time, because otherwise you're really diffusing your attention to too many different things, and that's not a good that's not a recipe for success. So I have all of these ideas and I'm forever coming up with them, particularly when I'm quiet and when I'm not actually thinking, which is something that I'll just come back to in a minute. But I'll be thinking all of these ideas, and it just got to me and I said, you know what? I don't want to lose the idea. I don't want to think, oh, but I had a great idea and I can't think what it was. What I do instead is I actually have a big sheet of paper, which I just call the park, and what I do is I just write the idea down so that I won't forget it, but it means I don't have to work on it right now. And that for me is really powerful, because I'm acknowledging that the idea has come, and it may be a great idea, maybe a crappy idea, who knows. So, you know, it's a bit like brainstorming, that you just think, don't judge them, you know, just write it down and then take it from there. But I don't necessarily have to do something right now. And I think that's the challenge. And that's where you can really let the rot set in, because you're thinking, I must work on this idea right now. And then that hampers your everything else that you had planned. You know, you go, oh, hold on, I've got to do that. But I've got this great idea now. Can you relate to this? And so let's stop. Let's just stop for a second and just take a deep breath. You are blessed with a multitude of ideas. You are blessed with a great passion for your business. You are blessed with so much of abundance of thought and of you're blessed with abundance. Okay, so if you don't act on it all right now, it doesn't mean that you're saying no to that abundance. It doesn't mean that just because at that moment when that idea hits that you haven't done something with it, that it's just going to disappear into the ether and you'll never get it again. It just means that you're allowing that creativity to come in. And one of the things that I really got a sense of from my mind-bending conversation this morning was really around, why don't we just stop thinking? And I say this as someone who finds it very hard to do that, but why don't we just stop thinking about everything? Allow those moments of genius, allow those moments of creativity to come to us, and then just say, great, let me write that down, and then let it go. Because as soon as you start thinking about that idea and how to put it into practice and what to do with it, and you know, I know what I'm like. I get an idea and I go, right, okay, I'll do a mind map, and I'll be kind of going, okay, so we've got an idea for a webinar or a program or whatever it might be, and you think, okay, so what will I do? I want to include this, and I'll really start to plan it all out. And then I'll hit a block, and I'll go, oh, are people going to want to know this? Are they going to need this? And, you know, I suddenly hit that block. And then that makes me question the idea, because then I think maybe it's not a great idea. Have you done this before? Maybe you dismiss it and then think, ah, no, it's crap. I'll just put it away. It's no good. Scrunch that piece of paper up, throw it in the bin, boom, done. And what about if you just actually wrote it down and let it go? I have a book. It's down behind me here, but I have a book that's like my Tiny Time Big Results idea book, and I just jot my ideas down as things come up. And because I have tiny time, I know what it is that I need to focus on this week, and for my results and things. And I get some great ideas, but it doesn't mean that I have to work on them right now. So maybe that's something that could help you in your business. That are you struggling because you just keep coming up with lots and lots of ideas, and the challenge is you're thinking, how am I going to get all of these ideas done? Rather than just acknowledge that you've got a great idea. Write it down so you don't forget it, and then just leave it. Why don't you just let it percolate? How good would that feel to take a step back, not think immediately that I must do something with this right now. If I've been given this idea right now, I need to do something right now. Take action. Maybe I just sit with it. Maybe if something hasn't worked out the best way that you wanted it to, rather than trying to fix it, just let it go. The divine intelligence within you that you're a part of is going to help you figure out whatever it is that needs to be figured out. Might not be anything, but this is my challenge to you today. Instead of sitting down, getting all twisty about your idea and thinking, how am I going to make it work? Oh my God, I haven't got time to do this. Oh geez, I've only got an hour left before I've got to pick Fiona up from the creche, or I've got this to do and I've got this to do, but I've got this great idea and I really need to write this book. Let it go. Are you feeling a little bit uncomfortable about this? Probably. I know a lot of people would be, because they're like thinking, but I've got this great idea. If I don't act on it right now, it's going to disappear. So if you've ever seen any of my Google Hangouts before, or you've heard me on webinars, then you know that I can be very full on energy in terms of I can just be throwing lots of ideas at you. And today, following on from my mind-bending conversation, I just in a more of a contemplative mood. And I would love for you to kind of just maybe take a few minutes to not do anything and just to be. Get an idea, let it go. Write it down. I still like to write it down because I just want to make sure that I don't miss it, and any additional thought that might come with that particular idea, because that's you're getting a download. But then just put it to one side. Close the book, put it to one side, and just think about nothing. It kind of feels quite good, actually. It kind of feels quite nice just to think, do you know the big thought in my head right now? I'm going to be very honest with you now. I'm a bit hungry. I would love a nice muffin or something. A bit of butter and jam. I think that's what I'm going to have. This morning I woke up and I am speaking at the Leitrim Business Network this evening. So if you're around, come to the Hive at 6:30, or actually it's going to be live streamed. I'm going to be putting that on Facebook, so you can check in with it. But this morning I woke up and I wanted to just get my head ready for the speaking engagement and just to kind of organize my thoughts. And I sat down with a piece of paper and I thought, right, what am I going to talk about? What's the structure, etc. And I looked outside the patio doors and I just thought, you know what, it is the most beautiful morning. And I don't know whether you feel like this, but like first thing in the morning is so glorious. And I've only been able to start getting up really early. I mean, obviously because I have babies, just recently, but I love that time in the morning. It's so beautiful. And I went outside into my garden and the sun was just, it was shining down. The sky was blue. It was adorable. It was just beautiful. And you know that early morning sound that you get? And I closed my eyes and I said, okay, one of my big dreams is to go and live by a beach, okay, which I will make it happen. So one of the things that I said, or what I said to myself was, okay, just close your eyes. I had a cup of tea in my hands and I said, I want you just to imagine that you're standing on the balcony of your villa looking out at the ocean view and just taking it all in. And I just stood there for a few minutes. Wasn't there for ages, but just for a few minutes where I really just breathed in that feeling of being by the ocean, hearing that beautiful early morning sound. I could have been anywhere at that moment in time because I was just in pure joy. And it was absolutely gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. So my big challenge to you is to think of, see, it's so ingrained in me. What I would love for you to do is just be. Take some time today to just be. Don't think about anything. Let your thoughts just run as the ticker tape and see how different that feels than constantly pushing, constantly thinking up of ideas. I guarantee you'll come up with some ideas, but again, just write them down and then leave them be. But just think about how that could actually really transform your perspective of your business and all the things that you have to do. Because when, and I know I say this all the time, but I think it's just such a powerful message that when you have tiny time, you're not going to be sitting here at all hours of every day working on things. So when you do get those ideas, if you start to work on them all, you're going to get quickly very overwhelmed, and you're going to struggle. And I don't want that for you, and I know you don't want that for you either. So just do a little bit of an experiment. This is something that I'm doing as well, and I'm actually just going to not think for once and just take some time out. So that's my piece for you today. I'm in a very zen mood, as you can see. Look at me. Oh, I'm all calm. Did you like that? Anyway, listen, I hope you've enjoyed today's Hangout. Make sure you come over to yasminvorajee.com to sign up for your free 10-day challenge. And every week I share so many goodies, but only through email. So be sure to come over to yasminvorajee.com. You've got the address on the screen there. And I come and find me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. I'm everywhere. I hope you've enjoyed this, because the whole point of Tiny Time Big Results is to help you get amazing results. Even when you are raising a family and building a business, you can do it. And I love to be able to share how you can do this. So come on over, yasminvorajee.com. Come and join the party. And if you like this video, then please do share with your community, because I think this is stuff that helps everybody. And like I shared actually with my community recently, that I live by this quote. And it says, I have no interest in competing with anyone. I hope we all make it. So if you did enjoy this video, please feel free to share. Share on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Please just feel free to share away. And I hope we all make it. So listen, have an amazing day. As you can see from the sunshine on my face, it's absolutely gorgeous today. And I want to make sure that I take advantage of that. So if you're around in Carrick and Shannon this evening, it's Tuesday the 3rd of June, then be sure to come and see me speak today at 6:30 in the Hive. And I look forward to seeing you next week, next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. UK time. I'm here every week, so be sure to come and join me for this Google Hangout, and I'll be sharing more valuable, useful stuff for you. Okay, so listen, take care. Bye.